Welcome to the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas for the WAC tournament. The Running Rebels, the lower seed, but don't tell Rick Majerus he's the home team tonight, despite his team being 25-2. You get all these teams together, things get busy in a hurry. Vegas won on Tuesday to play their way into the quarters, but Colorado State and Wyoming both upset victims. Today, some squeakers. New Mexico survives Tulsa, TCU survives SMU, Fresno blows out San Diego, and they play the winner of this one tomorrow night. Quarterfinal number 4 coming up from the WAC. Rick Majerus, the master of preparation for Utah, and Billy Bayno, the still young third-year head coach of UNLV. Quite a matchup on the bench and contrasting styles on the floor tonight. Bob Carpenter, Jimmy Dykes, welcome to the WAC. Rebels like the run, Utes do not. So how does Vegas speed this thing up, Jim?
Well, first of all, they got to play better interior defense, Bobby, because Medela and Doliak are averaging about 18 points a game in the first 2 meetings. Then they've got to get the transition game going on offense. By doing so, they free up their best three-point shooter over the last 3 ball games in Brian Keefe. You see his numbers. Here's a guy, if it's strictly a half-court game, he's going to be shadowed all night. If it's a transition game, he can free himself up for some looks. He's the wild card in this ball game tonight.
Yeah, talk about looks. How about 11 of his last 21 three-pointers have gone in. Now Utah, even though Van Horn is gone, Doliak and company pick up the slack. They may be the second-best team in the West to Arizona, and tonight continues their quest for that high NCAA seed. They're excited in Vegas with the Running Rebels and the Running Utes coming up in. Thank you, Chris Fowler. So we have an out west flavor to our Thursday evening here. Let's have a look at our Nike starting lineups. Billy Bayno's Running Rebels. And what an amazing story Kevin Simmons is. At the beginning of the year, he was not even in their 8- or 9-man rotation. He had 22 points in 35 minutes at Utah last week. Rick Majerus looks to Andre Miller. He calls him the key to Utah's success, a rebounding point guard who can play physically. Now, here we are in Vegas, but the Rebels are in their road reds, and the Utes are in their home whites with Mike Doliak and Kasper Skambala. David Hall throws it up. Doliak got the tip, but Tyrone Nesby was there to grab it.
Bobby, you'll see Utah in man-to-man defense for 40 minutes, and they cover in that half-court set as well as anyone I've seen all year.
And Simmons up high. On the wing, almost denying the pass, was Drew Hansen. Keefe and Dickel, the guards. Vegas a motion team in the half court. Shot clock down to 10 on their very first possession. Tyrone Nesby working off a Kambala pick. Kaspers picks it up. Shot clock at 3. Dickel a high arc, and he just got to the front of the iron. Pretty good defensive set there by Utah to start.
They clean up that defensive boards as well.
Great look. Hansen backdoor, couldn't finish. Got his own, and a foul on the way up. Dickel with the reach in. It's not unusual to see Utah get shots like that. Rick Majerus has a very intricate scheme of setting screens all over the half court. Drew Hansen will go to the line. Outstanding student, a senior leader on this club. Takes a little jump shot from the free throw line.
You've got to be patient. I mean, you can't get jumpy when you're trying to defend Utah because they're going to work that ball 5, 6, 7 passes. You're going to have to defensively work through 3 or 4 screens every possession. Otherwise, you're going to get chewed up.
Vegas rebound for Brian Keefe off the miss. So a minute in, Utes by 1. High pick by Simmons. That's Dickel on the wing for Tyrone Nesby. Alex Jensen, the defensive assignment there tonight. It won't go for Kambala. And there's that rebounding point guard, Andre Miller. Doliak behind the arc. Well off to the right. Running with the Vegas rebound, Kevin Simmons.
The ability of UNLV to take people off the dribble, very important tonight for Utah to contain. That's one major concern for Rick Majerus coming in.
You know they're going to be watching Brian Keefe all over the place. Hansen tries to stay with him. Little contact. kept alive, and Doliak rips it down. Michael averaging 7 rebounds a game. He has well over 800 in his career. Metzola can't knock it down after getting the offensive board. 2 minutes in, we're without a field goal so far. Nesby, he takes care of that.
Bobby, UNLV, they have to find a couple of times each half to get on a 2 or 3 minute roll as far as transition. That keeps the crowd into the ball game. If this is strictly a half-court war, Utah advances.
Doliak, tough catch, left-hander over Kumbala. Michael Doliak averaging 15 points a game.
A great post and position type scorer is Doliak, and then clever around that basket with both paws.
Yeah, once he makes that catch, you can just about bank on it. Simmons, bad angle, and another rebound for Andre Miller.
UNLV not even close to an offensive board yet.
Metzola, he might have been able to go up and flush that ball. I think he was expecting more contact than the little he got. So a 3-3 game as we near the 3-minute mark played.
A real premium by Utah to keep that ball out of the paint area. I mean, they will force help situations as well as you can teach it.
Kumbala, the league's rookie of the year, bounces one in. 6'9", 250 freshman out of Latvia. And it's on top now for Vegas, 5-3. Metzola. Shot fake, kept his pivot foot. Hanno Metzola out of Finland. He's got a real international flavor to this one tonight. Dickel in transition, beating Andre Miller, who gets his first foul.
And that's what they have to have tonight. Utah scores. They've got to get into an attack mode and get that ball the other way. You see Metzola with a shot to drop, and then immediately, boom, UNLV's coming right back at him with speed out of Dickel. But you cannot allow Metzola and Doliak to catch it so close, and there you see Dickel on the other end. Here's a kid that's got really good speed from free throw line to free throw line. He's not a great half-court penetrator.
Well, we saw Kumbala from Latvia score, Metzola from Finland, Dickel from New Zealand to the line. John Carlisle checks in for Utah, along with Jordy McTavish. And Dickel, a 68% free throw shooter, looking for the second one. See him miss twice very often. Kumbala got the rebound. Jordy McTavish forced it out of bounds off Kumbala. Utah's one of those teams. They always seem like they win the 50-50 balls. They do a lot of little things to make a difference.
I mean, they box off every time, and you're right. When it comes down to hustle points and work-type plays, these guys in the white are very good at it.
The bouncer down. Looking for position, Carlisle, the freshman. Now McTavish to Metzola. He'll pull up. He always has a nice touch, and his range goes far beyond what he just showed us there.
You know, he and Doliak play off each other so well because they got a little versatility to their game, and tough to double up either one of them.
Tough shot for Nesby. Rebels went crashing the offensive boards, and Drew Hansen will get the Utah foul. We're 4 minutes and 3 seconds in. Took a while for anybody to get the ball in the basket. Right now they're trading baskets, and Utah, the #1 seed, leads 7-5.
At the LA Sports Arena, order is finally being restored as Arizona, which has really gotten a battle from the Trojans tonight, has now taken the lead. That's Jason Terry for the triple. He just hit another field goal. Right now, Arizona's lead is as big as it's been, 5 points. Bob?
All right, Chris, and a lot of people think Arizona and Utah will be the top 2 seeds in the West. Rick Majerus with a long way to go. Winning another regular season championship. 25-2 overall, Jimmy, and they were 12-2 in the league with just 2 bumps in the road, but really playing well even before conference play got underway.
Well, I agree with that #2 seed thing they've got locked up, in my opinion. Losses by Arkansas, South Carolina, and Stanford in the last 8 or 10 days pretty much secured these guys a #2 spot.
Evan Simmons out on top, looking for Dickel. McTavish made it tough for him to catch it. Shot clock heading down to the 10 mark. A diving Deflection for Alex Jensen. And again, Utah hustles its way into a into a Vegas turnover. That's the second time in the last 3 down the floor they've done this.
That's what we talked about there. You see guys diving on the floor, getting out in the passing lane, and when it comes to effort, these guys are going to lace it up to the top eyelet every night.
Carlisle for Metzel. He's taken 4 shots already. Making 2 of them. Toronto looking past Nesby. This is McTavish for Carlisle. Kept it alive for a moment with Doliak not in there. Keith, bouncer, Kumbala, deflected by David Jackson of Utah.
Mistake made by Keefe in transition. I mean, he should have went ahead with the dribble push and made the defense commit. Tried to throw a high wire, thin ice type pass to Kumbala. There's a guy right there. His strength is shooting the basketball. So in a transition game, he's got to get open looks right now in a half-court set. Having difficulty even catching.
But in the 2 UNLV-Utah games this year, we've seen Rick Majerus design defenses that have kept Vegas' best scorers from doing just that. They've held Nesby down. He's only had 5 in each of the 2 games these 2 teams have played. Simmons the follow-away. Kevin Simmons averaging 15 points a game the last 10 ball games he has played. That's Trace Caton who just checked in. Freshman swingman playing out on top with Andre Miller.
The size factor of Utah is so important when they go to screen. I mean, they got big, wide bodies, so they free up their teammates very well. There's a great example of it right there for Johnson.
Well, some people feel Britton Johnson really resembles Keith Van Horn in many different ways. Physically, the way he shoots it, and he knocks down the 3. That was only his second 3-point make of the year in 7 attempts.
Rick Majerus has really spent a lot of time in practice sessions with that guy defensively. I mean, he's not going to sacrifice defense for offense at any time.
Kumbala, a victim of the held by David Jackson. That's what happens when the big fellas put it on the floor. Utah by 3. Almost 6.5 minutes in Las Vegas. Jackson can't hit from the left side. Kumbala off balance with the rebound. Dickel for Nesby. Tyrone rifles it home. Well, that's a good start for him. He's got a pair of 3s. And Rick Majerus, who has stopped Nesby in 2 previous games, calls a 20-second timeout.
Well, he's not happy with the transition defense. Nesby's a guy that's a runner in transition. You got to locate him quickly because of his ability to jump up and shoot it. Watch the screening just to the left of your screen here. Britton Johnson's going to start and then come to the top. Boom, just enough of a screen right there from his buddy to spot up and knock it down. And you must fight through screens and communicate. Here's the mistake made defensively by Utah. You don't locate Nesby quick enough. His ability to jump up and stroke it or take you off the dribble is tough to cover in a speed-type game, and I'm sure that's what Rick Majerus is talking to his troops about right now.
First time these teams played, Nesby had 5 points on 2 of 9 shooting. At Salt Lake City last week, 5 points on 1 of 5 shooting. So he's done a lot more tonight already. So the game tied, nearly 7 minutes in. Miller looking for Doliak, who checked in at the timeout. Kumbala on his hit. He goes to the left hand, and a foul.
I mean, the guy's so good in a couple of areas, Bob. First of all, his posting and catching position, where he catches that basketball, grades out an A most of the time. And then his ability to finish with either hand. Watch him right here. He doesn't get in a hurry, gets himself in a power position, and then when he releases that shot, he gets his shoulder square. 6'11" and about 255. He is a handful on that block.
And he almost never misses a free throw. 80%. He had 125 makes from the line coming into that one. So it's 12-10 Utah. Just over 7 minutes in. Dickel from Epps. They check in their shot blocker. Isaiah Epps. Nesby is on fire. That's 8 for Tyrone, the senior out of Carroll, Illinois. Maybe his last hurrah here in the next week or so, and he wants to go out in flames, it seems.
Those are the athletic-type shots that Rick Majerus was concerned with this morning when we talked to him. And that's pretty good defense, and they just jump up and stick one on you.
Andre Miller, so good at picking his spots. He's a 42% three-point shooter, and in WAC play, he's shooting over 60% from the field.
Yeah, and 50% from the three-point line. So there's a guy that only high percentage looks out of Andre Miller. Plays with a high IQ on both ends of the floor.
Donovan Stewart on top for Epps. Simmons back to Dickel. Stewart does a 360. Andre Miller's there with the help defense. Hanson back to him. To the glass. Ripped down by UNLV's Kevin Simmons.
Did everything but cash the check.
Then Simmons blocked. Britton Johnson went up with him. And Britton Johnson playing with a bad knee. He's got patella tendonitis in his left knee. The freshman can play, though, and it's Utah by 3.
In the sports arena, the Trojans just won't go away. Here's Arizona's Mike Bibby knocking down a three-pointer against his dad's team, but the Trojans are hanging tough now. In the final minutes, it's still a three-point game. Meanwhile, UCLA trying to pull away from Arizona State. The deficit for the Sun Devils is 10. 3 minutes to play in an important game for them. Back to Vegas.
All right, Chris, and Tyrone Nesby is the story right here. He's 3 for 4. The rest of his team is 2 for 7. He's hit both of his three-point attempts and leads everybody with 8 right now as Vegas trails Utah 15-12. Bob Carpenter, Jimmy Dykes. This is the 4th quarter final game today in the WAC. The winner of this game will take on Fresno. They had a 92-57 breather over San Diego State in the game right before this. In the other half of the bracket, it'll be New Mexico and TCU. They're the guys who barely escaped today, and you see the dominance of Tyrone Nesby. Whoops. Turnover right off the inbounds play as Vegas checked in Tyrell Jamerson, a senior guard, local kid here out of Vegas who we don't see very often. Billy Bano throwing some different looks out there, and he has to because Greedy Daniels has a bad hamstring and was not even able to dress tonight.
Well, here's a club that they're going to try to throw some different defensive looks to see, first of all, what's most effective. But then they've got to find a way, again, to speed the game up. You can't do it for the entire 40 minutes against Utah. They're too smart. They're too experienced. So what you do is try to speed it up a couple of times each half for 2 or 3 minutes.
Flashing all the way down in there, Andre Miller. His second basket. That's Andre with 5 now. He's a reliable ball handler with an assist-to-turnover ratio of 5-2.
Doliak freed Miller up in the backcourt that time with a on-the-ball screen, and no one rotated over to stop him.
Well, Tyrone's looking for his shot every time. Doliak the rebound. And Vegas up with it. Epps the loose ball. Tyrell Jamerson back the other way.
Bobby, that's what you have to do to Andre Miller. When he penetrates, you have to attack him. You can't stand and watch. You got to attack the dribbler and get it out of his hands.
Ambala. Ano Metzola with the rebound. Long transition. Doliak flushing it. And a foul on Kambala.
I mean, there's 2 or 3 things that stand out in this play. First of all, the ability to clean up the defensive boards. And look at that perfect pass to Doliak, who takes it up strong and goes through the contact. Utah, they will utilize their big guys to run right down the middle of that floor, and you've got to get back. Doliak kind of holding his finger there on the fall.
Utah goes ahead by 7 at 19-12. Looking at some of the scores from around the Southeastern Conference from earlier tonight. Been a wild day here in the WAC. Championship week presented by 7-Up continues tomorrow. Subject to blackout in some of these ACC games. It's Georgia Tech and Maryland. NC State a winner earlier tonight on ESPN as they took care of Florida State by just 2. Then to the Big East. semifinals, Rutgers and UConn at 7, and then at 9. The Johnnies won tonight. They take on Syracuse. And then after Sports Center, we're back here at midnight tomorrow night. Fresno will take on one of these two. This is a game that UNLV thinks is winnable. Michael Doliak, though, a lot to say about that. He fails again to complete the three-point play. He has 6 points and 3 rebounds.
You know, I like the chemistry and the togetherness out of UNLV with the absence of Keon Clark. I mean, they're playing hard, and Billy Bano feels like their focus is very good to come into this tournament. A real plus playing on your home court as well.
How much will Greedy Daniels hurt him by not being able to play in there? He's one of the guys who can speed up a ball game. Here's Dickel looking for his opening. Donovan Stewart couldn't knock it down, but he did draw the foul flashing in from the right baseline. It'll be on Alex Jensen, his first.
Bob, Greedy Daniels also was a kid you could rotate onto Andre Miller and try to wear him down a little bit. You try to match up for 40 minutes with number 24 in the white jersey at the point guard spot, and there are not many clubs in the country have a point guard big enough and strong enough to do it. It's a durable guy.
Well, any free throw from Donovan Stewart is a bonus. He's a 49% shooter at the line. Redshirt freshman out of California. And the rebound by Drew Hansen. Utah by 6, 19-13. We're just beyond the halfway mark in the first half of play. 3 won't go for Hansen. Nobody boxed out Doliak, and Michael has 8.
Yeah, the only guy boxing off on the play was Doliak. Again, he's a guy that understands offensive box-off responsibilities, and that time he gets an easy 2 points because of it.
Well, they had to get Kumbala out of the game because of his 2 fouls.
And again, you go back to the numbers that Medela and Doliak have put up against these guys the first 2 ball games. They're averaging right at 38 between them. So that is a tough match for UNLV on the inside.
Brian Keefe, very, very quiet. He's 0 for 2 so far. Simmons hooking it down to Epps. Pretty hard banker off the glass, and Doliak right now is controlling the iron at both ends. Here's Metela. Kept his pivot foot. Great shot fake. Hano Metela with a half dozen. So Metela and Doliak have 14 between them.
And that's just beautiful secondary offense. And Andre Miller, the quarterback, pushes it with patience, and then they spot their big guy up right in front of the rim.
Dickel for 3, I thought. Now he'll try it. He likes that corner spot a little better, I guess. Mark Dickel only a 29% shooter from that range. That's got to help. If he can hit a couple, then Keith will get some open looks.
You know, 8 times so far in this ball game, the Utah defense has forced UNLV to shoot the ball with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. So what that tells us is they are controlling the flow of this game, and they're controlling that spot on the floor.
Doliak stepping out a little bit that time with the left-hander. Then he stops Dickel on the transition game. Isaiah Epps getting bumped all over the place right now. Dickel flashes right by. Put his body into Doliak. They're going to get Andre Miller for the reach-in, and that will be his second.
I mean, Dickel's pretty fast with that basketball off a couple of dribbles, and Miller gets called from the push from behind. But that's the attack mode that UNLV, they've got to stay in. I mean, if not, you're forced to play catch around the perimeter and then just hope that your jump shots keep you in it, and that's not the strength of UNLV.
Mark Dickel had one of his best games of the year 2 nights ago against Hawaii on this floor. The hot Tyrone Nesby is back. Brian Keefe, scoreless, takes a seat. Dickel had 7 points, 9 assists, and 3 steals against the Rainbows in 39 minutes. That was a 64-59 win. He's got 5 tonight. With Andre Miller on the bench, 2 fouls, Jordan McTavish runs the Utah offense.
The 1-1-3 zone is pretty much a 2-3 alignment after the first pass out of UNLV.
Dickel got the deflection. Donovan Stewart nowhere to go. Simmons back to him. In from the baseline. He lost it. McTavish diving for the ball.
Bob, every loose ball they've come up with so far. I mean, that's a team that's really playing on their toes, and they understand the importance of getting on the floor. Watch Utah try to attack this zone in the middle, about where it says WAC in that lane area.
3 loose balls, Jimmy. They've gotten every one of them. McTavish in the corner for Metala. Jordy got his man off the floor. Metala, unguarded, well short. Long rebound to Dickel. 1-on-3. He'll think better of that. Little shake and bake against McTavish, and Jordy stops it. Donovan Stewart picking up his dribble.
See, again, the shot clock's going to go under 15 seconds, and that favors Utah. That's slowing the game down on the defensive end.
Jordy McTavish tangled up for that foul.
First of all, Utah, they're not going to give you any open, easy cuts like that. I mean, they're going to chest-to-chest you and make you fight to the point where you want to go.
Rick Majerus talking it over with his guys. 6:56 before halftime. Utah by 7 over the running Rebels of UNLV.
An update from Paulie. Arizona State's an underhanded team that's trying to use a 6-man rotation. They fight back, get within 3, but then Bobby Laser fouls Toby Bailey, who completes the three-point play. The margin is now 6. Meanwhile, at the Sports Arena, USC has just hit a 3-pointer to tie this game in the waning minutes. We'll keep you posted.
Well, we've had a wild day and night here in Vegas. A little late night drama in the Pac-10 as well. Chris will keep you posted. Goliak, the big reason they are the best rebound margin team in college basketball.
Well, as a result, they take away the transition game from the opponent. UNLV only 3 points right now, and they go on that aggressive push. They've got to get things done in the open floor if they're going to win the ball game.
Michael Goliak has 4 rebounds to go with his 10 points. Dickel for Nesby. Tyrone missing his first 3-pointer. Kept alive by Kevin Simmons. Corner. That shot blocked. That was a deflection for David Jackson. I'll tell you, they're not giving Brian Keefe any room on the perimeter, Jimmy Dykes.
I mean, they just flew right at him. They know that he's no threat to do things off the dribble, so you can fly at a shooter like that, take him out of his game.
Whitten Johnson.
I mean, look at that catching position right there. Right on top of that low block where now a lot of things can be triggered from.
Well, back to McTavish. Jordy, tough shot. Coming in to grab the rebound, Mark Dickel of UNLV. He'll race McTavish to the corner. Brian Keefe, bottom of your screen. Absolutely nothing so far. He's 0 for 3. Kumbala the catch. Can he do something with Goliak out of the game? Well, his first attempt is long. Kumbala playing with 2 fouls. McTavish. Simmons another rebound. Well, Utah kind of a Jekyll and Hyde shooting team tonight. They started 1 of 6, hit 10 of their next 15. Now they've gone a little cool again their last couple of possessions. Whoops. Dickel caught Simmons in the middle of a step, and Kevin couldn't make the adjustment to catch the pass. Goliak's coming back in. Trace Caton back in for the Utes. Donovan Stewart back in for the running Rebels.
That's the typical game for Utah. Shooting 48, 50% from the field and holding opponents under 40%. We've seen them a couple of times where they're ahead 7-8 points and they stretch it out to 14-15 and they just methodically wear you down.
They held New Mexico to 40% while shooting 50 themselves in the regular season finale in Salt Lake City that clinched things. Mountain Division champions. Shot clock at 6. Goliak catches, forget it, another foul. This time Kevin Simmons. That's the 3rd time tonight Goliak has been fouled while scoring.
Bobby, that's a clinic. I mean, that's an absolute clinic against the zone defense. Work that ball around 6 or 7 passes, and then look again where Goliak catches the basketball. I mean, he's catching it right on top of that low block, where then it just becomes a power game. When we get to that point on the floor, this guy's going to win out, number 51. That is a powerful basketball player down low.
Finally gets the three-point play. 13 for Michael Doliak. All WAC again this year. Made the all-defensive team. That's Jordy McTavish on the foul, as Mark Dickel went right at him. Doliak, senior out of Portland, Oregon. Number 14 all-time in Utah scoring. Right now, he's at 1,400 points with his 13 tonight.
Hey, look at that stance right there. I mean, that's a 6'11" guy getting down and getting after it, exposing that hand to the ball area. And that, you watch everybody for Utah. That's the stance that they'll play for 40 minutes.
It looked like Metzola got all ball. It might have been Doliak on the foul. Pretty good job there by Simmons of taking him down to the baseline. That'll be Michael's first. Well, most of the focus last year when Rick Majerus took this team to the Elite Eight was on number 44, Keith Van Horn, the All-American. They also graduated Ben Caton, who played such great defense. Doliak left behind to carry on, and he's done so beautifully. Kevin Simmons with his third point. And how about Kevin Simmons when we were in Salt Lake City last week? He was at the free throw line all night long, 10 out of 15 in that game when he scored 22.
Well, let me tell you why. The only advantage he has inside is his quickness factor. Now, that will get him to the free throw stripe against the bigger, a little bit slower interior defense of Utah.
That was Michael Doliak's fifth rebound.
UNLV one field goal in the last 6 minutes, so that's the defense that Utah can strap on to.
Metzola the catch. Got Simmons off the floor. Doliak rebounds. Traffic. Can't score. Put it up too hard. Nesby the rebound for the running Rebels. Dickel straight ahead. Nice look for Stewart. Yes, and a foul.
That's what they've got to have, Bob. I mean, they've got to find ways to manufacture points other than just a straight half-court game. Now, you do that by pushing from defense to offense, and here's a good example. The outlet pass to Dickel. Now, he advances it off the dribble and then finishes it off the pass. And that's exactly what you've got to do. Stewart is a runner in transition. That's the guy that's at the free throw stripe. So if you're assigned to check him defensively, you've got to locate him quickly and run with him down the floor.
Donovan Stewart, the three-point play. Coming back from that herniated disc in the lower back that had him redshirting last year. And the Rebels back to within 6.
USC 3-18 in the last 21 games, fighting back against Arizona. Adam Spanish, time winding down, forces overtime here. Miles Simon from a couple miles away tries to win the game. It doesn't go. That's been the Cats' MO. Blow out the tough teams, but struggle with the lightweights, Bob.
Well, that's happened a little bit in this tournament so far, Chris Fowler. There you see the UCLA final as they hold on to win. We've had some surprises out here in the WAC with the likes of Colorado State and Wyoming falling on Tuesday, Jimmy, when they were expected to go deep into the tournament and possibly make the field of 64.
Well, as a result, you've got 4, even 5 teams right now sitting on a bubble, so to speak, for the NIT. I mean, I think you got 3 teams in for sure in the WAC, and Fresno State has the ability, or UNLV, to play their way in the NCAAs, but several clubs now sitting at 19, 20 wins, hoping for an invite to somebody's party.
That's also an SMU pressed some pretty good clubs today. Kano Metzola on the receiving end of that foul. It'll be on Donovan Stewart of UNLV. That'll be his first. Billy Bano. UMass assistant with John Calipari from 88 to 95. A Sacred Heart, class of 85 guy, just mid-30s, coaching here in Las Vegas. He was a UMass player, of course, in the early 80s.
Well, he's one of the fiercest competitors, not only on the court, but on the road as a recruiter. I mean, the guy's outstanding.
Playing with a bad knee, too, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, against New Mexico.
Well, his team gets a good defensive stop there. They got the Donovan Stewart three-point play going into the timeout. Now they're down by just 6. These are 3 very important minutes remaining before halftime. Dickel for Nesby. Tyrone putting it on the floor. Tough defense by Alex Jensen. That's why he's out there. Stewart on top for Tyrone. High pick by Dickel. Stewart uses a pick, shoots over Doliak. Nesby kept it alive, and the ball pulled out of there by Alex Jensen, just back from a 2-year mission to England. He's a 6'7" sophomore. Looking for Metala posting up. Over Nesby. Air ball. Loose ball. Vegas finally got one. Here's Stewart. And from behind, Drew Hansen the takeaway.
I mean, Hansen's the kind of guy, that's what he typifies right there. I mean, hustle coming from behind, and all he does is allow you to win basketball games.
Rick Majerus calls him one of the Utah MVPs. That's a guy averaging 6 points a game.
Well, he's a terrific defender and just makes plays like that on a consistent basis.
Doliak keeping it alive after the miss by Metala. Dickel, right side Stewart. Under 2 minutes to go. UNLV, despite the recent drought, still down by just 6. And that one is going back the other way. Tyrone Nesby on the charge.
Well, it's awfully difficult to drive the ball from 20 feet on the floor against Utah without help defense being there. And it looks like Metala was set.
Yep.
I mean, you penetrate that deep, you get about 6 or 7 feet away, you've got to stop and go up straight and not float into the defender because of those help principles built into this defense of Utah.
McTavish for 3. Rebound, Isaiah Epps. Dickel runs with it. He and McTavish having quite a battle here tonight with Andre Miller on the bench. That time a McTavish blocking foul. That'll be Jordy's 3rd. Andre Miller has 2. Chris Fowler's in the studio with our 7-Up halftime report. Boy, a real close call, and the Lobos escaping very lucky against Tulsa here today. A lot of action in the Pac-10 tonight. Some buzzer beaters in the Big East. Hey, it's March. Why not?
You know, I heard some talk about New Mexico maybe not being in the tournament. You can forget that deal. I mean, they won today and made sure they got themselves in. Now, their seed level has certainly gone downhill in the last 3 ball games, but those guys are in.
That Tulsa was open for their 20th win of the year today. That would have been impressive against New Mexico. Couldn't quite do it. David Jackson is back for Utah. Mark Dickel looking for 7 points. He already has his average. That was Epps tipping that ball out. Utah will have it back.
Bobby, Utah, they've taken Keith out of the ball game. He's no factor on the offensive end. So now what UNLV is forced to do is get things done off the half-court dribble drive and try to get some transition points. Transition basketball will free up Keith eventually.
This possession takes us to the final minute. A Rebel got a piece of it, then it hit off Doliak, and UNLV has it back. They're really playing some great defense right now.
And it's a pretty active zone by UNLV. I mean, their hands are up. That time they got a deflection, and although the pace of the game favors Utah, UNLV staying within striking distance.
You saw Brian Keefe. There he is. He's 0 for 3. Kicks it for Nesby. Tyrone Long with the 3. Rebound, Alex Jensen. Right now a 7-second differential between the clocks. Isaiah Epps forces the steal. And then a foul on Jensen.
And that's good active defense by Epps on that low post area. Watch him. He doesn't stay behind when that pass goes inside. Here's a guy with quick feet. I mean, he's almost got feet quick enough to play on the perimeter. So that time he utilizes those puppies to get around and get the steal.
Outstanding defense by Epps. Tyrone Nesby to the line.
I like inside defenders, Bob, that don't play frozen. And you see a lot of big guys inside, establish position, lock their legs, lock their arms, and the defense is just able to go right around them. Epps plays inside defense like a guard.
Well, if Tyrone can stick around a couple of more games for these guys, they'll become the first UNLV player to score 1,000 points in 2 years since J.R. Ryder back in '92 and '93. He's got 10 tonight, 980 for his career, and we've got a 3-point game.
Utah's been trying to attack this zone on the inside. And again, keep your eye on Doliak and Medela. They move well, they screen for each other, and eventually they usually get in catching position right in front of that rim.
10 seconds. Doliak the jumper. Air ball. Rebels have time. Dickel for Nesby. Tyrone thought he was going to shoot. UNLV trailed by 10 at 28-18, and then they go on a 7-0 run. So Chris Fowler, the running Rebels, using a lot of D here late in the first half.
ESPN's presentation of Championship Week is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota, every day.
If Utah shoots 50, they hold you to 40. If they shoot 40 tonight, they hold you to 30. The running Rebels only 7 of 23 so far. And Jimmy, sometimes you wonder, why doesn't Utah throw the ball into Mike Doliak every time down the floor?
Yeah, you're right, because he's hit 6 out of 9 shots, and he was awfully involved early in this ballgame. Watch him go to work on this left block. He's going to catch it. He's going to feel a double team come. Then he's patient. He lets the double team clear out. Then he goes to work to that middle, and with that left hand gets the roll. And that's a club right now. They've got to keep him involved. He only had 1 field goal over the last 9 minutes of that first half, and that's a guy that he is a huge factor in this ball game when he gets touches.
Hano Metala rolls it in. Hano with his 8-pointer tonight. He has a couple of rebounds and an assist. Dickel driving, hanging, scoring over the top of Drew Hansen. And Mark Dickel has 8 tonight. He's picked up the slack because they've stopped Brian Keith.
Remember Rick Majerus telling us that this club, UNLV, has circus shot ability? That was a good example of it.
Jets in the miss. Doliak had a swipe at it. Here come the Rebels, down by just 3 as they trade baskets out of halftime. Tyrone Nesby. 18 minutes of play in the first half. He flushes another one. And Tyrone has a dozen.
That's how they're going to have to win this ball game, with the aggressive push, and then just jump up and knock down some shots off of one-on-one play.
Doliak over Kumbala. No. Caspers the rebound. UNLV with a chance to take the lead. Tyrone Nesby, the turnaround. Short. Kept alive by Simmons. It'll stay with the guys from Vegas. Let's have a look at our first half stats, brought to you by DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza. Your shooting percentage does not rise when you play Utah. It goes down. 3 out of 7 3-pointers, though, keep Nevada, Las Vegas in it. A couple of those from Tyrone Nesby. Look at that, 8 more free throw attempts than Utah.
When Utah's a club that normally outshoots their opponents from the line with 6 or 7 more attempts, so it's the quickness factor of UNLV that's getting them to the free throw strike.
Last time the Rebels led was 5-3. Dickel looking at Hansen. Who's going to move for the ball? Donovan Stewart back to Mark Dickel. Shot clock at 13. Tough shot. Andre Miller with the rebound. Andre only played 10 minutes in the first half. Got his second foul with 8 minutes left, and Majerus took him out. Nesby to steal. 4-on-2. Fakes the pass. Misses the shot. Simmons can't get it over the iron, and there's a Utah foul.
I mean, that's it right there. That's the story for UNLV. If they can get the game going like this with Nesby, boom, right there, make that little boom shot type thing to the rim. Because again, if it's strictly a half-court game, you're not going to beat Utah. So you got to find ways to speed the game up. UNLV has some people that can make plays with the basketball.
Kevin Simmons, 5 rebounds in the first half, a couple already here. And that ties it up.
Bob, UNLV in the first 2 meetings, they've played a good half in each ball game. The most important thing is for these guys now to play another good 20 minutes.
Metala the catch from Doliak. Hansen swings it. Andre Miller faking the three. Slashing in. Using the glass beautifully. They're a different team when he's out there, aren't they?
Yeah, completely. I mean, that's a point guard slashing from that wing area and then elevating over pretty good-sized defenders inside.
Tyrone Nesby with a tough shot. He has 14. There have been evenings in the second half of the season when Tyrone did not come to play. Tonight, he's in it. Andre Miller, again thinking about the three. Metala, Doliak, ripping it away from Donovan Stewart. Metala another chance. And Hano comes up with it again. Jensen squaring up. Miller for Hansen. Finally, the Rebels come away. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. Nesby for three. Rick Majerus wants a 20.
Well, he's got it going on right now with his club. I mean, defensively, they're doing a pretty good job, and then the rebound, the basketball, which allows you to run. And watch Nesby right here. I mean, he just between the legs a couple of times to get himself on balance, then elevates and boom, nothing but the bottom. And that's a kid that's got score points in a hurry type ability. Energy and enthusiasm out of Billy Maino like you would expect. This is exactly what Rick Majerus feared coming into this building tonight.
Tyrone Nesby, 6 out of 12. 3 out of 5 from the three-point line. Having a big night. 17 points. And he has led the Vegas Charge out of halftime to take a three-point lead.
Remember in the first half, Nesby hit a three-pointer in transition. Majerus took a 20-second timeout, and Utah went on a little bit of a run after that point. Let's see if it happens again.
Hano Metala the miss. 2 touches for Doliak. It'll go back to the Rebels. Gets it back from Kevin Simmons. Shot clock already down to 15. Nesby posting, then flashing to the wing. Pulling up. Barely grazing iron. Donovan Stewart kept it alive for Kaspers Kumbala. Dickel looking to pass for Nesby. Tyrone looking dangerous every time. They're all over it. Way short from Donovan Stewart. Another offensive rebound. Kevin Simmons, how did he even get that shot close to going in? Another Utah foul. It's number 3 on Doliak.
Bob, here's the deal. UNLV, they've got this game now in a scramble-type situation. So as a result, they're getting some offensive rebounds, and Doliak with a huge third foul.
That may be the only thing that can stop him. UNLV by 3 with momentum.
We're back at it 10 hours and 45 minutes from now. Georgia Tech must avenge 2 losses to the Terrapins to get into the tournament. NC State and Carolina Heels thinking payback. After the ACC quarters, it's the Big East semis. Cinderella Rutgers against the top seed, and then St. John's and Syracuse in a rubber game, followed by our midnight snack in the WAC. The winner here against Tarkin Fresno State, Bob.
All right, Chris, glad to hear you've got the stopwatch counting down. 10 hours, 45 minutes. We've got 15:40 to go here. Vegas playing very well right now. And Jimmy, how about that last possession as they scramble the ball down the floor?
Well, watch this. UNLV is going to come down and quickly reverse that ball, and as a result, Utah, their defense gets out of alignment. So as a result, you get some offensive rebound opportunities. UNLV very aggressive on the offensive end right now, and that's exactly how you have to play Utah. And as a result, UNLV on a 10-4 run to start this half.
And look at the rebounding. And look at the shooting of Kevin Simmons. That's 6 for him. Those rebounding numbers against the best rebounding margin team in college basketball.
But again, you get the game at a fast pace. It takes Utah out of that premium box-out position. And then you rely on athleticism to go get the basketball, and UNLV
They're better in that situation.
Doliak, a big putback. That's his first basket in the second half. UNLV had moved out to its biggest lead, 5. Now it's back to 37-34. 5 minutes out of halftime. Simmons wiggling loose, barely got ironed. And Doliak another rebound. The outlet for Andre Miller. Andre almost came back down before he released that pass. Doliak finds Metcalf.
You make a mistake, they're going to make you pay. I mean, they got great court vision, a very good passing basketball team, and you break down defensively, you give up an easy 2.
Mark Dickel into the corner. Too long for Nesby. Metcalf the rebound. Here comes Andre Miller again. Look at Andre. He's surveying the situation as he comes up the floor. His eyes are always moving. He knows where the other 4 guys are all the time. Little dribble to create the shot by Alex Jensen, and then the foul.
Watch Doliak again. This guy's a clever passer up top. Look at Melo. Just sneak in behind the defense. No one was guarding him.
Yeah, Casper Skambala was 15 feet from the basket because of Doliak, and nobody down there protecting.
So I'm telling you, you start substituting in a ball game and the thing's going at a fever pitch. Those assistant coaches, they must make sure when guys are checking in, you know who you're guarding, communicate that with the guy that you're checking in for. We can't give up an easy 2 for either club right now.
John Carlisle gives Doliak the breather. Isaiah Epps and Brian Keefe check in for UNLV. Alex Jensen, nothing but net. Utes by 1. Oh, excuse me. We're all tied up now again at 37 with that make. And that's Trace Caton back into the game for Utah. Epps. He traveled. He felt Carlisle on his hip. Isaiah Epps is a shot blocker, really not a scorer.
I mean, you force him to catch the ball off the block and make him make a play with a basketball, and you got the advantage defensively. Again, Epps is a position-type scorer, catch and just turn and put it in. Anything other than that, he struggles with.
Miller sliding to a stop. And the loose ball picked up by Donovan Stewart. Keith not able to score tonight.
First time all season I've seen Andre Miller flirting on the verge of being out of control. His game is, he needs to slow it down just a little bit.
Simmons slashing, and a reaching foul on John Carlisle. Couple of selection shows coming your way on Sunday. We get things going at 6:30. Presented by GTE, the men's selection special. Chris Fowler, Digger Phelps, Dick Vitale. They'll look at the brackets and give you their opinions on the Final Four. And then we'll actually announce the women's brackets, presented by State Farm at 7:30 with Robin Roberts, Mimi Griffin, and Rebecca Lobo. That's all Sunday. Tune in to find out where your favorite team is going.
Well, the WAC women will be well represented this year. Both Hawaii and Utah were #1 seeds coming in. They've already been eliminated in the tournament, but they're in. And I think Colorado State, they've been ranked in the top 25 throughout the season. So 3 clubs for sure, and they're thinking maybe a 4th.
Simmons with the free throws. That gives him 8 on the night. Doliak wasn't out there for long. Running Rebels by 2. 7 minutes out of halftime.
2-3 zone has been effective, keeping the ball out of the hands of Doliak and Metal on the inside.
Right now they've got Doliak with Jensen, Caton, Miller, and David Jackson are on the perimeter. Jackson's had a bad ankle lately. Won't go for Alex Jensen. Nickel for Stewart. How'd he keep the ball on that move? And it goes in for him. Isaiah Epps was lurking on the iron just in case. And UNLV back on top by 4.
UNLV playing it just like they have to. I mean, they're aggressive on their push. They're getting some friendly rolls as far as some acrobatic shots to drop, and wow, they're creating offense.
Doliak missing everything. Here comes Dickel. The bouncer. That was a weak pass, and Andre Miller is there. Great look to Jackson. How about Andre Miller? Makes the steal, gets the assist.
No defensive balance for UNLV, and again, a perfect example of Utah. You make a mistake, they're going to get you on the other end.
Stewart watched by Caton. Deep for three. He still hasn't scored. That one not even close. Alex Jensen for Andre Miller. Jackson for Caton. Jensen kicks it. Everybody's going to touch it except Doliak here. Caton won't roll for him. Jensen kept it alive, but it was last touched by Epps. It'll stay with the Utes when we come back. 11-13 remaining. UNLV trying to pull away. Utah won't let Billy's club do it. Running Rebels of UNLV, the number 5 seed in the Mountain Division, against the number 1 seed Utah. Tough one for the Utes to play this team on this floor. And what's going on lately now with Mike Doliak?
Watch Doliak again. They're playing against his zone defense. Now watch him get exposed. Boom, right there. Got the defender on his back, so now he's going to be patient. He's going to wait and wait, and all of a sudden he's going to have a little duck move here in a moment. But he's the only, look at that, boom, wide open. He's the only Ute that doesn't touch the ball in this possession, and there is such a thing when you're playing against a zone defense of moving the ball too quickly. If you're a perimeter player, catch the ball, see if Doliak's exposed. If he's not, then make the next pass. Right now, they're passing the ball so quickly around the perimeter, Doliak's not a factor. Slow down your offense if you're Utah.
Off the inbounds play. Hansen. Caton for Miller. Or Dickel, the defensive assignment on Andre Miller. Doliak posting up against Isaiah Epps. During that little sequence, Jimmy, we saw Epps give Doliak a little shove to get him away from the basket. Shot clock at 12. At 8. At 5. Inside the circle. Andre Miller, he was very calm about it. Simply didn't knock down the shot. Stewart, I don't think he's going to shoot over those two guys.
Well, Utah, they're using a lot of energy, Bobby, running from offense to defense. Their transition defense has been very good. You're starting to see some guys out there right now that look a little bit tired.
We got a foul that's going to send it back the other way. You might have noticed Tyrone Nesby came back in. Looks like Isaiah Epps with the UNLV foul. That'll be his first. Hano Metala will check back in. Hano's second team all WAC this year. He had 19 here in the first meeting of these two clubs. 16 points with 9 rebounds last week at the Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City. Doliak gets the breather. He is playing with 3 fouls. Metala down deep with Alex Jensen. Perimeter guys, Caton. He flushes it from 3-point range. That's the first basket of the night for Ben's little brother, Trace. He was a high school All-American at Colorado, Mr. Basketball at Alamosa last year. There's Andre Miller grabbing another rebound. Now the Utes on top by 1.
UNLV, they stay with that 2-3 zone, and the big guys down low are coming out to cover high on those wings. The corner area is exposed, but Utah has not been able to knock down shots from that area on the floor.
Miller, well off to the right, long rebound, and Drew Hansen, who's usually the guy that gets there on those kind of plays. Miller pulling up, oh, a double pump. Andre with 9. He is so calm out there. 20-second timeout for Bill Bano.
You look at Andre Miller again. Here's a guy shooting 62% from the field in conference play from the guard spot. Now, I like his strength, his durability, takes up the slack in the defense and just kind of floats in with using the glass area. This is a team, Bob, that will not get rattled. Yeah. I mean, they had a chance to get rattled there, but they didn't because of the experienced play out of Miller and the team concept involved. And
there's a man who's got some interest in this game, Jerry Tarkanian, and we were here a year ago when he brought his Bulldogs of Fresno in to play UNLV. He was a loser that night. He's waiting to see who he'll be playing tomorrow night. That's the game we'll televise tomorrow night late. TCU and New Mexico in the other half of the bracket. That will be real interesting to see how the Lobos react after the blowout in Fort Worth a couple of weeks ago.
UNLV has not scored about the last 3.5 minutes of this ball game. So, again, Utah, they realize you get behind, what do you got to do? Keep your defense solid, and that's what's got them back in the lead.
Ray Skaten a foul down deep on Tyrone Nesby.
He's too valuable as an offensive player to be making silly fouls on the end down here. I mean,
Doliak is back.
Just a clear out.
Michael Doliak checks back in. They go on top to Tyrone Nesby. Dickel for Stewart. Posting up near side Simmons. It was Medela with good help. Doliak switches off the high Kumbala pick. Way short. Simmons not looking good on that one. Andre Miller gets up from the slip. He might be the most versatile player in this league. Scoring, rebounding, assisting, stealing, and seldom turning the ball over. Metala kept it alive. Kumbala pulls it down for UNLV. Dickel. Good strong look down low. Hansen on the back of Kumbala. And the Utah bench pretty unhappy about that one.
Rick Majerus thought his club had a steal. Watched Kumbala put it on the floor. And, I mean, that's just all ball, in my opinion. And look at this. The water bottle gets thrown, and if you're an assistant coach, you're ducking, and you don't dare say, hey, coach, don't do that again. I mean, you got all kinds of things happening over there. Boy.
Dickel, one way, then the other! Spinning it off the glass. He learned that in Dunedin, New Zealand, at Logan Park High School. Now there's water on the floor because of the water bottle. Well, that's one way to get a 20-second timeout. They'll take the under 8-minute timeout. 7:42 remaining. UNLV hanging very tough in a one-point game. Fourth game of the WAC quarterfinals on this Thursday. Winner of this game will take on Fresno State in the semis tomorrow night. New Mexico barely escaping Tulsa by 1. TCU barely escaping their Metroplex partners from SMU. And that's how it looks.
Well, now you got a great one because New Mexico put it on TCU at the pit, and then TCU returned the favor. So that will be a dandy tomorrow. And the winner of this one takes on a pretty hot Fresno State club right now. You know, Billy Bano, last time I saw him, he talked about, I've got to make a decision about Keon Clark. They decided not to bring him back. He's done, and I think it's really helped this club because the first half of the season, Bobby, they were waiting to get Keon Clark back. Yep. Then the next 10 games, they're trying to blend him in, and now they realize he's not here. They're focused. Everybody knows their role, and they're playing their best basketball because of it.
And Billy Bano won the respect of some of the other kids on his club by disciplining a player that he didn't feel had a team attitude.
Yeah, and how important is that? I mean, unless you've been a coach, understand what we're talking about. That's huge.
Alex Jensen got a finger in the face. Shot clock is at 7. Oh, by the way, Jimmy and I will stick around for the championship game. That's Saturday night. That'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern time, midnight tomorrow with the semi. I think when everybody looked at the brackets for this tournament, They assumed it would be Utah and TCU. But this is a very difficult first game if you're Rick Majerus. This morning at the shoot-around, the first game started here at noon. Rick's shoot-around wasn't until about 10:30. By the time his team got on the floor, cheerleaders and band and personnel were coming in for the first game here.
It's not what he likes.
And Rick was like, this is a circus. It was really something this morning, but they kept their concentration. They kept their focus. And they're in the middle of a very tough battle tonight, as expected. Alex Jensen, he's one of Rick Majerus' favorite young men. Took off on a 2-year mission to England after a freshman year in '95 when he had 4 double-doubles and averaged 7 points, 6 rebounds a game.
Bob, look, take a look here at the injury. Look just to the left of the scoreboard. Jensen's going to catch the basketball. Now watch, boom, the hand comes up defensively and swats him right across that face area, and he immediately drops.
And that was Tyrone Nesby with the reach on the perimeter.
He took a pretty good blow. And he's still down. This is a squad that Rick Majerus told us already getting kind of thin because of just some little small injuries starting to pile up to Britton Johnson and Trace Caton.
David Jackson's had a bad ankle.
Right.
Well, big day today and tomorrow on ESPN. Up the deuce. We'll start in the Big Ten. Iowa and number 18 Michigan, 1:30. Then the Gophers, the Final Four team of a year ago, trying to make some noise in the tournament against number 12 Michigan State. Then we go to the quarters in the ACC. Subject to blackout, Clemson and Wake. And then back to the Big Ten, Indiana and number 9 Purdue. Tom Gene Katie, I'm a little nervous about that one.
And I'll tell you what, Michigan State with Mateen Cleaves, now they're going to do some damage in this tournament. They will start the season next year as one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the country.
Kumbala losing his balance and traveling. Alex Jensen trying to keep his eyes open. Took a real shot to the left eye there. Glad to see he's okay. Really good young man. Honor roll student. Outstanding role player on this club.
UNLV with 14 turnovers, and most of those have come in the half-court set.
Doliak's jumpers tonight have not looked that good. Tyrone Nesby's have. Down to Kumbala. Belly up with Doliak. Donovan Stewart. He was short last time. Not that time. 9 for the redshirt freshman. Rick Majerus wants a 20.
Donovan Stewart, primarily right now, is an offensive player. He's a take the ball to the basket type kid, but look at Kumbala kick it out. Gets his feet set. Pretty good look. Elbow under the ball. Boom. Nothing but the bottom. Out of Donovan Stewart.
UNLV very tough to beat at home. 13-4 this year. In Billy Bano's 3 years, they're 38-13 at Thomas and Mack. This building now in its 15th year. It was such a great place for Tark and his running Rebels. And I really think Billy Bano's got this program back on track. It's going to be a power in this league for years to come. They won it all under Tark in 1990. He won 509 games here, did Jerry Tarkanian.
What Billy Bano signed a kid, Sean Marion, out of Indiana. He doesn't go straight to the NBA. He will be an absolute star next year in this league.
Miller stripped but foul from behind by Donovan Stewart. That'll be his 3rd. Michael Doliak, the go-to guy in the first half, but Jimmy Dykes, it's been a different story for the last 13.5 minutes.
I'm sure Rick Majerus is talking to Doliak about staying active on the offensive end. We're going to bring you the ball. And they haven't done a great job of finding the big guy in the second half. You got to think, Bob, over the last 6:20 of this half, that Doliak's got to be the first and second option about every time down. At least let him touch it.
Andre Miller into double figures with that free throw. Had 17 points and 9 assists when these two clubs got together last week. All tied up. Under 6:20 remaining.
Here's what I think it boils down to. If UNLV can beat Utah in one-on-one situations over the last 6 minutes, they're going to win the game. I mean, that's their offense right now. Is just getting the ball in the hands of Simmons, Nesby, Dickel, and letting them go to work.
So far, only Dickel and Simmons on this possession. Nesby, right side of your screen, flashing. Payton trying to deny. Doliak stops him. Ball gets away, and nobody touched it. Mike Doliak, nice job. He just came in from behind, went vertical, stayed on the floor, and that put a stop to that.
He puts up a wall. Watch the help come inside, and Doliak just puts up a wall. That's what that's called defensively, and gets the turnover as a result of it.
That's a great wall.
Big wall.
That's about 8.5 feet with those arms up. Hansen for Payton. Dickel almost got the deflection. Shot clock at 10. Andre Miller. This is the man they want touching it at that point. Payton can't hit his second straight three. Dickel ahead. Nesby rolls it. Kumbala.
What do we talk about to start the game? If UNLV can get things done in transition, they got a shot to win this basketball game, and that's exactly where they're sitting right now.
Rebels by 2, 5 minutes to go. Doliak triple teamed. Hansen shooting from outside, getting the three. His first field goal of the night.
3/4 of his shot on the year from that three-point line. So when he catches it, you've got to charge at him and make him a dribbler.
And he's shooting 48% out there.
Yeah.
That was his 35th make of the year in only 74 attempts.
I mean, what a game. It's not a high-scoring, beautiful affair, but if you like X's and O's and strategy going on, this is a dandy.
Great box out by Payton on Nesby. Utah by 1. This possession takes us down to the 4-minute mark.
What a smart play by Doliak to come and be the release guy, the pressure valve when Hansen was double-teamed.
He catches, goes left, draws the Kumbala foul. That'll be Casper's third. He had 2 very early. In fact, he had 2 fouls in the first 9.5 minutes.
You know, his ability to get to the free throw stripe makes him really tough because he's going to hit about 8 out of 10 when he gets there. Such a wide target on that low block area. Great position players, Michael Doliak.
And normally very reliable from the line. He's 2 for 4 tonight. They average 24 free throws a game. It'll take a lot of hacking down the stretch to get close to that. Michael Doliak with 17. Utah keeping its composure, taking a 3-point lead with 3:51 remaining.
ESPN's presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up. 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler invite you to try the crisp new taste of 7-Up.
Three-point game with only 3:51 remaining. UNLV doing a big job on the boards tonight, out-rebounding Utah by a margin of 9. Here's our game summary. The shooting coming up for Vegas a little bit and going down some for Utah. 6 more attempts at the line. 5 more for Utah from beyond the arc. But Jimmy Dykes rebounding a big story tonight. Kevin Simmons has 10 of those for UNLV.
Yeah, because you got to remember, Utah, they're the #1 rebounding team in the country at +12 a game. So UNLV, they've started paying attention to that glass area, and as a result, they are right in the middle of this thing.
Rebels down by 3 on this possession. Well away from the basket, a whistle. It'll be number 3 on Drew Hansen. Team foul number 6 on Utah. UNLV only has 4. So those free throw attempts may not be coming for Utah for a while. Tyrone Nesby can't knock down the three and rimmed out on him.
Now expect Utah to run this shot clock down and make UNLV defend for, 30 seconds or so. They can work on the defensive end. Kind of a quick shot out of Utah.
Metala on the back of Kumbala.
That's not what they wanted. And that's too quick at this stage in the ball game.
Donovan Stewart posted up down there. Simmons gets into no man's land. Good pass. Kept alive momentarily by Kumbala. And Doliak, the senior, takes control after the freshman missed. He's got his double-double now. 17 points and 10 boards.
Boy, he is a hoss. I mean, he goes up for that basketball and clears out space.
That's a charge on Metala. He dumped it off and couldn't stop. So the last two times Jimmy Dykes down the floor, the Utes come down and miss a shot. This the turnover early in the possession.
Yeah, great play by Kumbala to slide over, and you're right. I mean, this is a club that usually they're going to grade out about an A+ over the last 5 minutes, and those last two possessions, not what Rick Majerus wanted at all on the offensive end.
Simmons against Metala. Too low off the glass. Kumbala, he got a bit of a gift rebound. Who got him on the way up? It'll be Andre Miller with his third. Kaspers Kumbala, they call him Kaz. Went to high school in Wisconsin after coming over from Latvia. All-Stater up in Homestead. He impressed some people at the Adidas camp with 11 points and 6 rebounds a game. And he's a pretty good free throw shooter. 72%.
Yeah, on film, watching this guy, I felt like all season he was pretty much a turn and hurt you type moves guy. He's got a little bit of finesse to him and more offensive to defensive rebounds down the year, and you like that.
Utah 2-point lead. Well, unless they fire quickly, this possession takes us under 2 minutes.
Well, there's no reason to. UNLV's back in that zone, so you can play catch around the perimeter if you want.
Andre Miller got tripped by Kumbala on the baseline. That'll be 4 on Kaspers. Andre Miller will go to the line. And still only 5 team fouls. UNLV wants a timeout. It is well, they're signaling 20. And that'll be Bill Mano's final 20-second timeout. It comes with 2:03 remaining. Well, sometimes people look in the newspaper and they see one WAC result after another and wonder, how do they get through 16 teams out here? 2 8-team divisions do it. TCU, an unbeaten run through conference play, and they won their first tournament game earlier today. Fresno came on to finish second with Tulsa right behind. Hawaii faded a little bit down the stretch. That's in the Pacific. Utah won the Mountain again by a game over New Mexico with that last win at Salt Lake City. Wyoming and Colorado State, Tuesday upset victims in this tournament.
Congratulations to Billy Tubbs of TCU, the Pacific Division Coach of the Year, and Larry Scheid at Wyoming. What a job he did to earn the same recognition in the Mountain Division.
Maybe we'll see TCU Saturday night.
Doliak's got to touch it, I think.
Metala.
I don't understand that.
Wow. Missing everything but the far glass. We've got a minute and a half to go. UNLV down by just 2. Nesby for 3. Power. Tyrone with 20. And Majerus a timeout.
Watch Tyrone Nesby. I mean, just enough of a screen to get his feet set, release, rotation, and result. That's big, Tyrone.
Well, Bill Bano's knee must be feeling better because he just had his best vertical jump of the year when that ball went in from the hands of Tyrone Nesby, who now has 20.
Well, watch Nesby. He's going to get just enough of a screen. He starts down that low block area, rubs off one screen, and then gets a headhunter screen right there that frees him up. The defense is late extending. Therefore, Nesby catches it, and at 6'7", gets his shot off over a pretty tall defender. That was huge.
How about his three-point shooting tonight? 4 out of 7. He is 7 of 18 overall. Coming up big. No more 20s in this game. Billy Bano has 2. Rick Majerus has 1. UNLV also has the possession arrow. Bano wants somebody down court to defend, and they never saw him. He wanted somebody to pressure in the backcourt, and his guards never looked at him.
The last field goal by Michael Doliak was at 15-10 in the second half. He's got to touch the ball.
Miller drives. Miller short. Nesby with the ball. Under a minute to go. A major upset possible here in Vegas. Timeout, Bano. What more could UNLV ask than to be at home with the lead in the final minute of their conference tournament? (52-51). Utah has been in this situation before. Let's go back to last spring, quarterfinals. It took a miracle for them to win.
Well, 3/10 left in Utah's tournament opportunity here.
And the biggest upset probably in years.
Is it going to Doliak? It goes to Van Horn. He takes it in! Big Van Horn!
So will they have the heroics? We shall see. It's UNLV's ball with 51.1 to go. You know, the interesting thing about Nevada, Las Vegas, Jimmy Dykes, they're 0-9 against ranked teams this year. But I like the fact that they played 9 ranked teams.
That's what's important. They stepped out and took a challenge, especially early.
Playing tough games early pays off late. Andre Miller almost got the steal, and he fouled Dickel. 11 seconds ticked off the clock before that took place. Andre Miller with 4, and Dickel, a mediocre 68% for a guard, will go to the line. Missed the front end. This could be the second game of this quarterfinal decided on missed free throws. It happened at Tulsa earlier. 4 seconds differential on the clocks. Miller, Simmons in front of it. From the corner, Metala. Miller for Hansen. Back to Andre. It's off to the right. It's pulled down by Stewart. Final 10 seconds. Nesby fouled. Rick Majerus wants a timeout.
You know what's important about that? The ability of UNLV to handle that ball for 4 or 5 seconds after they got the rebound. I mean, they passed that ball 2 or 3 times and took off another 5 or 6 seconds. That's very important right now. Watch, there's the shot. UNLV, they've stayed in this thing by rebound. Now watch. I mean, the clock continues to run. They get out of the double team, make 1 pass, 2 passes. There's the 3rd pass. That was very important. Bano's got to like it, huh?
I was rather amazed today at the confidence of everybody around this Rebel program regarding this game. despite the fact that on January 24th, they lost to Utah on this floor by 13. And on February 23rd, they hung tough up in Salt Lake City and lost by 11. But I really feel, Jimmy, that they thought this was a winnable game. Now that they're playing so much better as a team, with all the suspensions behind them, playing on their home floor. They had 13,000 here the other night when they won their play-in game, and a crowd of about the same, maybe a few more here tonight. Well, the best in action in college basketball here in March. Some Austin Open news with Casey Martin and some NBA action coming your way. Sports Center next. And this will be 6.4 seconds remaining to see if UNLV can pull off the big upset.
Important to note, UNLV only has 5 team fouls. So now they can waste one. And they can waste one.
And Nesby will shoot 2 because that was Utah's 10.
So even if they make them both here, you go up 54 to 51. I don't think you allow Utah just to advance it up. I think you go ahead and use that 6th foul.
21 for Tyrone Nesby. And if he gets this one, the best Utah could do would be to tie at the end of regulation.
And you don't let him get it off, though. Not on the first round.
Oh, it goes in. Billy Bano was out on the floor. He had called a timeout. Utah guys looked up, and there was a guy in a sport coat guarding him.
Again, here's the situation. UNLV's up 54-51. With 6 seconds to go, Billy Bano's got to be talking to his coaches about, we've only got 5 team fouls. We can afford to foul again and get this thing down to about 3 seconds. Now, Rick Majerus has to realize the same thing.
Yeah, just don't murder somebody and get yourself an intentional foul in that situation.
You do it going for the ball, and you do it smart. That's something that you have to practice. You don't just all of a sudden tell your guys to go out and do it. That's a situation type thing that you cover in practice. How do you foul late in the ball game? That's something that you teach.
Utah tonight from 3-point range. 4 makes, 15 misses. Jerry Tarkanian, how ironic that he's sitting here in this building waiting to see who will win this game to determine his opponent in the late semifinal game that we will televise tomorrow night at midnight Eastern time. Lobos and Horned Frogs in the early one. And there's Tark, whose team was a winner earlier tonight, 92-57 over San Diego State. San Diego, the team that had surprised Wyoming on Tuesday, knocking the Cowboys out.
UNLV, they have 1 foul to give, and there's no reason, absolutely no reason for any defender for UNLV to be inside the 3-point line. I mean, you're a wasted guy if you're inside there right now. It takes a 3-pointer to tie this thing and send it into OT. All defensive guys have to be at that 3-point line or above.
6.4 seconds to go, 94, and to score 3. Miller's got it. And Dickel reaches in.
That's smart.
And now it's down to 4.1, so they knocked 2.3 seconds off the clock.
Well, probably what that does now is it doesn't allow time for a missed shot, a rebound, a pass out, and another 3-point shot. It's probably going to come down to just the first shot they get off, and this is going to be it out of Miller.
Miller slides, shoots, no! And UNLV pulls the upset.
Billy Bano knows how to throw a party, huh? Good defense on Andre Miller. I mean, he has to go up the defense again. They puts up that little bit of a wall. It's not as big a wall as Doliak can put up defensively, but it forces a tough shot out of Andre Miller. And there's one happy head coach, Billy Bano. Congratulations.
Now on the other end, that guy still, he's a #2 seed in that NCAA tournament. They've earned it all season long.
And remember one thing about Rick Majerus. He's in the tournament. He's never lost a first-round tournament game. That's in the NCAA. But here in the WAC, it happens. And it'll be Jerry Tarkanian tomorrow night against UNLV. The final score from Las Vegas. The Runnin' Rebels pulled the upset, 54-51. Sports Center coming up next. For Jimmy Dykes, I'm Bob Carpenter. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Hope you enjoyed it tonight from the WAC.